Now, I think it's pretty safe to say that the future of the Star Wars universe seems to be quite expansive, not just with their upcoming books, novels, comics, and video games, but also, let's not forget about the new Star Wars TV shows, movies that are currently in the works, as well as a handful of new Star Wars lore that's coming our way by John, George, and Dave. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, one thing about the new universe between John and Dave is that what they are about to do is that they are essentially dragging in a lot of Star Wars Legends material and combining it with the current canon as much as they can. Now, given that they are very well aware that they have to be very careful about what legend stories they pick and choose to be mixed in with the current canon and what kind of retcons they're going to apply to the sequel trilogy, etc., are going to have a big impact on other side stories. Now, with that being said, one thing that's really exciting has a lot to do with exactly what Jon Favreau recently pitched to, of course, Disney about George Lucas and what, of course, Disney is now allowing to actually happen with creator George Lucas in the Star Wars universe. This is pretty exciting stuff. We're going to tap into everything here of what's happening with the upcoming new Star Wars universe as a whole. Now, as you all are very well aware, everything that's been happening over the course of the past couple of years, it's been leading up to this point where John and Dave are taking more creative power. They recently got some pretty big time promotions over at LUCASFILM that gives them a lot more freedom over what they can do, not just creatively, but also financially within the Star Wars universe. However, with of course George Lucas now involved with multiple projects and working closely with Favreau and Filoni on the future of the franchise, Disney executives have been coming up with a huge plan for the Star Wars franchise to truly get the fans talking again. Now, it's noted that Disney just approved something big that Favreau pitched to Disney in order to bring George Lucas into the actual Star Wars universe as one of the characters and others in an upcoming live-action series that will focus on the events after Order 66. As of now, Lucas is set to play a character that he already did in Episode 3 known as Baron Papanoida, and will be returning to the role in the planned Star Wars Underworld series that is in the early development phase as of right now. Now further, it's noted that Disney executives actually thought this was a fantastic idea by Favreau and approved it for Lucas to play a character with full dialogue and having a pretty important role in the planned series. Now, let me just pause here quickly for a second. I don't know if you guys knew this, but in Revenge of the Sith, for about 2 seconds, you do see Lucas playing a character known as Baron Papanoida. He appears in the Clone Wars. It's a very, minor character. We don't really know all that much about him. But what's really exciting about this is that Disney's about to basically make him the new Marvel version of, multiple cameos happening in the Star Wars universe of a particular prominent figure in pop culture. Basically, what they're about to do is that they are going to make George Lucas having a lot of different cameos, just like Stan Lee did in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We'll tap into that in the details and how it's really going to happen. Now, one of those cameos, just one of which, is going to be Baron Papanoida in the Star Wars franchise. So, for all you guys that don't know much about the character, it's, a detailed character, but very minor, but it is going to be a big deal in Star Wars Underworld. Underworld, by the way, it's going to be a show about the crime syndicates, the black market in Star Wars, basically everything that happens on Coruscant and other worlds. That's going to be all about bounty hunting, Jedi in hiding, Star Wars lore. I mean, a lot of great things coming out of this. Now, further, alright, this is where things begin to really, begin to progress, is that on top of that, Lucas is said to be very excited about the approved plan to bring him back as that character that he played for 2 seconds in Revenge of the Sith, that will have true meaning this time around now in Star Wars Underworld. However, Disney is even planning for Lucas to make multiple cameos, not just as this character across many Star Wars TV shows, but others, to expand. though he won't be a major one, they have a plan to give him many cameos in the different shows, and are planning to make this their version of Stan Lee appearing in the Marvel movies as cameos. That's what Disney CEO Bob Chapek is aiming for in many of the upcoming Star Wars shows, is by having Lucas play multiple mini cameos, including Baron Papanoida, in the Star Wars universe. Now, let me just pause here quickly for a second. Now, this is not to get mixed up with thinking that this is going to be for comedic purposes. It's not that Lucas's cameos are going to be comedic like Stan Lee. It's just that it's going to be like Stan Lee's cameos in nature, where he's going to reappear as different characters. And it's not like it's going to be all that prominent. It's just going to be something out of pure fun by Disney, by Favreau and Filoni over at Lucasfilm as well. To be honest with you guys, I think that this is perfect. It makes a lot of sense to pay respect to George, to actually have him play different characters in the Star Wars universe, even if they are minor ones. I think that this is amazing. Now, if you guys have not seen him in Revenge of the Sith, I'll make sure to display that in this video multiple times, but it's a very interesting character. They want to expand those cameos into different characters as well, and this is going to be Lucasfilm's version of Stan Lee appearing in the Marvel movies. Now, rest in peace to Stan Lee, one of the greatest people in pop culture that brought some of the best characters in pop culture to life, such as Spider-Man and everything. Now, this is another great example, is that what they're trying to achieve here is that they want to make sure that George Lucas is going to have some kind of legacy in the upcoming Star Wars universe by Favreau and Filoni. And this was all Favreau's idea. And let's not forget that this, of course, comes from Favreau being involved as an executive producer and as just a producer and many different things in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's really coming from Favreau, and it makes a lot of sense as to why he would want to have his own version of Stan Lee making cameos, where in this scenario it's George making cameos as different characters. Now, I think that's going to be a very interesting idea coming out of Favreau and Filoni. The first appearance for Lucas that they are planning to make happen is, of course, for The Mandalorian Season 4. We're not quite sure what kind of character that's going to be, but for Star Wars Underworld, it's going to be Baron Papanoida. And once again, like I said before, you can see him in the Clone Wars. He has a lot of dialogue in there. You do see him in Revenge of the Sith for a couple of seconds, and there is some promotional, images, photography, so to speak, that actually shows his character in great detail. And again, I'll include those images in the video here, but it's a very interesting development, the fact that they want to go through with this, and they are making it happen as we speak. So anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you guys have to say about all this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again.